Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Open Book. I am Billy Price. I am one of the two co-founders of Billy Footwear, and as you probably hear a lot when you watch Open Book, I love to start off the program by saying I love Open Book. Open Book gives us the ability to talk a little bit about the brand, talk a little bit about our own personal journey, but the part that I think I love the most about Open Book is when we get to chat with those that we collaborate with. So on screen today, joining us today, we have Michelle Short. She is the founder of Riley's Residence. So Michelle, welcome to Open Book.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So in a little pre-conversation in preparation for this thing, I mentioned that I have lots of questions for you, but I think a great place for us to start here is, can you tell us and share with our audience what is Riley's Residence?
So Riley's Residence is going to be a 100-room housing facility, long-term and short-term housing facility for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's going to be state-of-the-art, having all the comprehensive care that they need as far as on-site physical, occupational, speech, and aquatic therapy. And then we're going to have a salon for them on site. We'll have, basically anything that they need is for autism rooms and, just all the things that they need. We're going to have gardens so we can have garden to table, and better health, better food for them. And then the big thing is that we want to empower them. And so the people that are more high functioning will be able to actually participate and work at the facility if they want to. So if they want to work out on the grounds or in the kitchen, maybe they want to work in the laundry room, or just mentor another resident there and kind of take them under their wing. So we really want to give them a sense of purpose, and a lot of them are lacking that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's obvious like a facility like this is very, very much needed, and it's not just in your area; it's really like across the planet.
Yes.
Riley's Residence. What was the inspiration?
What inspired me is I was a single mom for a long time. My two older boys at the time that this came about, one of them was in the military, he's a Marine, and my middle one had just graduated from high school. And in 2019, it was just Riley and I living at home, and I went to the grocery store and ended up having a grand mal seizure myself. And a couple of weeks later, I found out that I had a brain tumor. And so living alone with Riley, who was having seizures, and all of a sudden I'm having seizures, my fear wasn't what was going to happen to me, or my fear wasn't that I had a brain tumor, I had to have surgery. It was who's going to take care of my baby. At the time he was 14, and I didn't have anywhere to go to. My parents could take him for a few days, but they're elderly, and he's quite heavy, So I thought at that time there has to be somewhere where parents can go and place their child in a loving, nurturing facility or home that will be taken care of while you go and get your medical care that you need, or something comes up where they just can't physically take care of them anymore and they need help, and there was just nothing around here at the time, and so that's really where the inspiration started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, this is no small undertaking. I mean, so how long has this process been going?
So it was first started back in 2019. And then, again, like I said, I was a single mom for a long time, working, trying to make ends meet. Didn't have a lot of health care care for Riley because during the pandemic, nobody's working. And then when the pandemic was over and people were going back to work, the caregivers didn't want to go back to work because they were making more money on unemployment, which is another huge problem that we have across America. And so then that kind of started up again, where I'm like, okay, we really need to treat our caregivers better, provide more, for them, benefits, pay, a better work culture for them. And so when I met my husband in 2021, I told him what my dreams were, and he's like, I'm all in, and how can I help you? And so we kind of just started more dreaming about stuff. And at that time I was faced with now having to actually place my son into a home because I couldn't get care for him and I couldn't do it by myself anymore. And that was quite devastating. That was a whole nother level of being, very depressed, and you feel shameful and you feel guilty and all the feelings, right? And so we put him in a home, and it was the closest one that we had in our area was 3 hours away. And so that was devastating all on its own. And then it was last fall, almost a year now, that I was sitting in church, and this just vivid just things just started coming to me. And I have a book that I would take with me, and I write all my notes down. And then I got into a program with our church. It's called the Pathfinder's Apprenticeship. And so they take people on the marketplace and just kind of give them a platform to get to the next level. And so they have a lot of great speakers. And so then that was in February, I started that. And then I was able to get the nonprofit approved in June of this year. And then we had our first gala in September. So all very new.
Wow. Well, can you talk about the gala? Because it sounds like it was a smashing success.
Yes, it was so fun. We had a live auction and a silent auction. I was anticipating at least 300 people, but we had less than 2.5 months really to plan it. So we ended up with 150 people, and they were all so excited. We had CSHQA is our architect that we partnered with as well. And so they did this amazing video of the rendering of the facility. And so to unveil that at the gala was huge. Everybody was just so surprised, because when we talk about a facility, they think it's going to be boring and just, it's not going to have all these things. And so when they saw the pool and they saw the therapy rooms and they saw the bedrooms that the residents will be living in, and the dining room and all this stuff, they were just so excited. So that was super exciting. We ended up raising $123,000 that night. So that was huge. And we're so thankful for our community and our partners that helped us get it started and sponsored us. So it was a huge success.
Wow. All right. Well, here's a good time. Let me put the website up on the screen here so people can see it. So, rileysresidence.org. It's up on screen right now. Those that are listening in, let me spell this out to you. So it's RILEY. Excuse me, let me start over. RILEYSRESIDENCE.org. So that's the website. And then on Instagram, it's at Riley Res. So RILEYRES. So going on the website, I mean, I love the imagery. I love like the fly-in view. If I were in your spot, I would imagine I could see myself like closing my eyes and just putting that in my head and just imagining what it's going to be like, in my case, rolling through those doors to go into this space and just seeing all it can offer. I mean, I'm sure you dream like that all the time.
Oh yeah. I can literally picture people coming in and like touring it. I can see families, I can see all the kids and residents just loving it and having fun. And, I can see them improving. It's crazy how I can literally see them in like art therapy and discovering that they had an art talent that they weren't able to, unleash before because they didn't have the opportunity. And that's really the biggest, one of the biggest problems that we have in our IDD community is isolation, and so the people that are into high school, they have a lot more therapies and opportunities to get out into the community and participate in day-to-day life. Whereas the residents that are, have aged out of that part and they're just home in these homes or home with their parents or, whoever's taking care of them, they can become very isolated because transferring them or having the care to help to get them out into the community and participate in these things is just not available. And so a lot of people just want to have friends. And so when I go to Riley's house now and I go pick them up, there's one gal that's a little bit older. I think she's in her late 40s and nobody goes to visit her anymore. I don't know if her parents have passed or what, but there's days where she doesn't leave the house for 3 or 4 days. And so when I go in, she goes, will you be my friend? Will you take your picture with me? And so it's those things that really we don't see because we're not around it. And it's just, it's sad. So they really need to have their community and things that they can do together. And again, just have that purpose. So I can see all that. Yeah, it's great.
So do we have, like, what's the schedule? I mean, is there an actual date yet to, try to break ground, or is there still a lot more steps before we start putting that kind of?
Yeah, there's still quite a more steps. We have to buy the land, so we're still raising money for that. But in the meantime, the facility, from the time that we're able to actually break ground until it's complete, is going to be about 2 years, and that's from the time, again, we buy land, we get the permits and everything. So during that 2-year period, we want to start acquiring single-family residents. So we're looking at a couple right now that we're hoping to have open by the end of December. And so what we'll do is we'll start filling up those homes with our residents and building our culture. That will give us time to get all of our caregivers that we're going to hire on through. We created a certification program that every caregiver has to go through. And that's a separate school that will be a for-profit. So then any money that makes will go back into donations into Riley's residents. but that will just, again, create the bar to be much higher for our caregivers. And then also they have to participate in the mentorship program to where they learn how to be a mentor. And so when they have that title and they're working with, our residents, they really take them under their wing and really want to make them better and help them improve in any area of life that they can. So we'll be able to do those in smaller amounts in these homes, because there'll be probably about maybe 5 to sometimes 8, depending on the houses that we are able to acquire in a home. And then once the facility is complete, then everybody into the facility, and then the homes that we have acquired over the last couple of years, we will then have them available for foster kids with IDD, and so they'll be able to occupy those homes full time and have more of a consistent living environment, because right now they're living in our state, they're living in old hotels or Airbnbs because there's not enough housing for them. So that's a whole other thing that we're trying to help with that.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a significant, that is a very significant thing to be doing. I mean, Michelle, how big is your team? I mean, my gosh, you can't be, are you carrying this all on your shoulders? How big is your team?
Really, I have 3 people on my team right now. Joelle Atara, who's, she just came on as a volunteer and helped me build my website and do my social media. And she's like, I'm all in. She helped me a lot with the planning of the gala and stuff. But it's really my husband and I making phone calls and talking to people. He's able to work at our other company that we have, so that I am able to just focus on this and be full time on this, So we're not building this business to make money or retire off of it. It's all just to give back to the community and make sure that people that have lived with, the burden of not having care, have a place for their loved one and know that there's going to be something better for them. And they don't have to go through the trials that we went through. So
Wow.
There's 3 of us right now, but we're building.
Yeah. Well, so 2 of my favorite words are one's inclusion and the other one's community. And what you're doing, you can't get more authentic than both of those and what you're doing. That is absolutely remarkable. Obviously it is so needed. So it's just incredible. I have a feeling I can talk to you forever, but I do want to be respectful of your time here. I do have one more question though. There's got to be, I'll bring the website back up again, just so people can go there to, learn more and try to support. But are there any big events coming up that, we can try to highlight that people can participate in some way?
Yeah, so we're going to have a golf tournament next spring that we're just trying to get that, get the date nailed down. So I'll have that on the website. And the biggest thing that people can do is just spread awareness, talk about it, go to the website, tell people about it. Donations are always welcome and appreciated. And it doesn't matter how big or small, every little bit helps. So really, so we can just get this and get it built and get people into the home that they need and deserve.
Wow. Well, let me put the website back up. So again, it's rileysresidence.org. So RILEYSRESIDENCE.org. And then on Instagram, we have @RileyRes. So RILEYRES. And I guess I do have one more follow-up question, because I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people listening in here going like, you know what? We need to have something in my community as well. They could be, and what you're taking on. It's such an undertaking, but it's obviously so needed, and the value that it's going to add to the community and to your family personally, is just immeasurable. So if someone else wants to try to tackle this in their hometown, like what kind of starting point would you recommend?
I would love to help them, because we do want to have this throughout the nation. So this would be the first footprint, but to call me and I can give them all the information that I have, share with them, start a, nonprofit, or, just reach out to me and help me, and so we can work together. The biggest thing is that every state needs them, if not 2 or 3. So our goal is to, provide these homes throughout the United States.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And would the best way just to reach out to you through the website?
Yeah, there's a website there. My email's in there, and then they can also call me. I'm open to phone calls as well.
Okay, love it. Well, boy, Michelle, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my gosh, just put your heart on the line for this thing. I mean, just a passion project, but it's going to add so much value to so many, which is absolutely incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate you partnering with us, and we love Billy Footwear. I mean, so we're every child that comes into the door will get a brand new pair of Billy Footwear shoes. So they all deserve them. So we're super excited.
Well, thank you. And I one thing I do like is when you're touching on just getting the word out. I mean, word of mouth. So much of our success as a brand has happened just by that, having word of mouth and having like a touch point where someone had a positive experience and then they share. So as a brand, we're like of the community for the community, and what you're creating with Rise Residents is just exactly the same.
Oh, thank you. We're excited.
Well, everyone out there, this was another episode of Open Book. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And we'll have another episode of Open Book again really soon. So until then, take care.